For some time now I've been thinking of getting a valve component for my system. Sometimes my system sounds a bit, I don't know, bright, a bit clinical, and I've also, one of the headphones I've got are a pair of AKG Q701s, which again can be a bit clinical, and I've often thought that adding a bit of valve warmth somewhere along the chain would be a good thing. Now this makes me think I'm probably not an audiophile, because audiophiles would say, oh well, what you're doing is you're introducing distortion, and they're well, probably quite right, but I think, well, if it sounds good to me, you know, what does it matter? Anyway, there are lots of valve components online. Icon Audio, I've listened to some of their equipment and they sound fantastic, but they are quite pricey. I think the 20pp amplifier they do is about £900. And there's all sorts of Chinese amplifiers online which are considerably cheaper, but they don't have great reviews, and particularly a lot of the quality controls felt to be a bit iffy. But looking at the reviews, one exception to this seems to be Little Dot. And Little Dot amplifiers, they tend to be headphone amplifiers, get very good reviews, and also they're meant to have very good quality control. And the Little Dot Mk2, which I've bought now, it usually retails for around £130, but I got this for about £80 online. Apparently it's been taken by someone, opened, they tested it was working, and immediately sealed up again. So I thought, well, let's give it a go. So what I've got now is a kind of an unboxing and first impressions video before I put it on, let it run in for a bit and come back with how I feel it sounds. Right, so let's open this up and see what you get. Right, well, the first thing you get is a phono cable. I'm going to have to be a bit careful here because what I can see is there are some, the valves are out sort of, they're not actually tied down very well. So I'm going to be very careful taking this out. Right, so this is how it comes. There's two polystyrene sort of sheets. I think perhaps I was a bit unfair. It looks like the valves are tied down very well. So I'm going to gently prise this apart. I'm going to get one of the valves there. And the other two are over here, or three are over here. I'll have to be very careful with these because there's a lot on the internet how you're not meant to touch them, because if you get the oils to your skin on them, it does various things. I'm not sure whether I agree with that, but there we go. What else you got in here? There's a user manual, and this in Chinese, which looks a bit like a registration card, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, the user manual gives you some instructions and how to put the tubes in, preliminary steps, and I'll have a read of that later. What you don't seem to get is any form of mains cable. Now I don't know whether that's because it's second hand, they didn't bother to put it in or not, but it looks like there's room in the box for it. So looking at this, well, the first thing it strikes me is that it's a good looking, hefty unit. So in the front there's a volume control and a headphone jack. There are the 4 spaces for the valves at the top. Around the back there's an on-off switch. There are phono sockets for input and output. Now I believe that this is set up not to be a preamp but a valve buffer, but you can take the bottom off and change the internal settings to make it a preamp, but I'll check that out later. The first impressions, it looks like a good, robust, well made and put together unit. So what I'll do now is I'll put the valves in, we'll give it a bit of a run in, and I'll come back in a week or so to see how it's doing. Thank you very much for tuning in.